Time now for an in-depth look at the market news this afternoon, and for that I'm joined on the line by Dr. Soo-young, professor of business at Chung-Ang University. Dr. Song, thank you for coming on today.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me again.
Well, today we see Korea's current account surplus in October did grow slightly to a 12-month high. It was the 6-month Korea was back in the black. But the problem is exports were down sharply and so were imports. So it's hard to say, isn't it, that this is a sign of economic health?
Yeah, I agree with that that opinion. And actually, this is, even though this is a preliminary report released by the Bank of Korea, even though we have some current accounts surplus in October, which was recorded as a slight decrease from the last year October by the almost 1.7 billion U.S. dollars value. But however, we have, according to the data, that the exports and particularly the balance of goods has been decreased and a lot. So that means that we have to make an adjustment in the economy because our dependency on the dependency ratio over the trade is too big. So I think this might indicate our government and our economy should make some adjustment of portfolio of the economy, rather while decreasing the reliance on the international trade and then focusing on some domestic demand, improvement of the domestic demand.
Got it. Well, this week we have Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi in town. Also talks taking place between South Korea and Japan on trade issues. These, of course, are countries with very close ties to Korea economically. With this diplomacy happening, what do you see down the pipe?
Yeah, I think that is going to be our trading direction could be a little bit under adjustment because I have looked into some data dating from the 2010, and I have seen in the Bank of Korea data that has shown the current account against China has been shown surplus and is increased from 2016 and onward. And that is accompanied by the increase of the balance of goods, which means the current account surplus is largely due to the increase of the net export to China. So that reminds me of the situation that was very worst in the adoption of the THAAD missile anti-defense system in 2013 and 14 so that was the worst time between China and Korea. But since then, I have seen the current account and the balance of goods, the net export to China is increasing. Very interestingly, I have found also the current account surplus in Southeast Asia has been increased a lot. That is accompanied also. So now this data, according to data, and then the recent summit conference which was held in Busan, that has indicated the current government policy to diversify some trading route and particularly focus on the Eastern Asian area that comes to be. I expect it would be fruitful and beneficial to our economy.
Do you see progress on the Japan situation?
For the Japan, even though there is a current account, always we have a current account deficit, and then the size of deficit is decreasing. I mean the number of deficit is decreasing. But however, that is not because of we understand the dispute between the Korea and Japan since the last June and July. Therefore, this is going to be not easily settled down. But anyway, as long as we have found the supply of the raw materials which was imported from Japan in the past, that has been changed, and then as long as we can find some domestic supplier of those raw materials and the other areas in China, maybe in other countries, that
Right.
yeah, that would be anyway our dependency and on Japan's import of raw materials will be reduced. So that would be also turns out to be good.
And briefly about the U.S. China situation, we've been getting mixed signals. So this has caused some major volatility in stocks. What's the story in the global markets, or the factors that you see driving trade in the months to come?
Yeah, currently the Wall Street has experienced the largest increase of the equity prices, particularly S&P 500, and the index has been. So that's why the recent fluctuation of and the setback of the index could reflect, rather than influenced by the just statement made at the NATO summit by U.S. President Trump, rather that should be interpreted as some kind of a little adjustment, because U.S. equity market has been increased too much. Therefore, it is subject to some kind of adjustment for the purpose of the hedging the risk or the future, because December 15th is a very critical day, and then
Indeed, yeah, that's a date we're going to be watching for sure, coming up in just about 10 days now. All right, Dr. Song, we'll have to leave it there for today. Thanks so much for sharing your insights.
Yeah, thank you.